Okay, well, I'm just going to record it. So, Rutendo, I'm going to speak to you personally because Hanli knows everything.
Okay.
And what's great is that you can ask your questions. Maybe there'll be people coming in later on. So, but let's start. Rutendo, how old is your child?
She's 7 on the 9th of May.
Okay, so she's grade 1.
Yeah, she's in grade 2.
Oh, grade 2, okay. Yeah. And tell me if you do you have any problems with her regarding maybe teachers talking about behaviors or things that she maybe struggle with?
Yes, definitely. I think issues of paying attention in class, even at home when we're trying to get her to do her homework as well. Okay. So what we've done, we recently went to see her doctor, and he gave us a referral to go and see someone who can do maybe an assessment and see whether she's got like ADHD or something like that. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Well, then you're going to love what I'm going to share with you tonight. But I think, is this your oldest child?
Yes, she's my oldest.
Okay, so you still have a long road ahead, and I'm gonna so just give you a lot of information that's maybe going to calm you down, because sometimes we get, as parents, we get very anxious, and we think, okay, what did I not do enough? Where did I as a parent go wrong? Why is my child struggling? Have you ever had thoughts like that?
Yeah, I know the feeling. She was born like a month early, so sometimes I feel like maybe it's because like she was a premature baby. Like, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I did something.
Well, let me tell you just a short little story about myself. So this is actually how our business started. When I'm turning 52 this year. So my oldest son, when he was in grade 1 up to grade 3, we had problems at school. So concentration, name it. And we went from specialist to specialist, and everyone was saying something different about him. Now, I'm a qualified teacher, and my husband is a professor in chemistry at the university here in Bloemfontein at Free State. And I don't know, Richard, what you do, but my husband's very skeptical. So he always says, don't tell me, I want to see the scientific proof. So we wanted to get other help, not opinions, but objective opinions of there's no person involved. So what happened was our son was diagnosed with ADHD, sensory integration issues, learning disability, and autism. So all in one. And there was no one to help me. And that's actually where everything started, because we didn't want to do only the medication, because I felt that, if we only do medication, the skills that is lacking, we're not going to be taught to him. So it felt that there was something missing. So my husband started doing research, and that's actually how we came about the program that we use. But we also wanted, because we had the experience of 6 different people saying 6 different things, we wanted an assessment that was objective. So we found one in the USA, but 6 years into the business, we decided, you know what, we want something that's in Africa, from our pool of African people. So we went to a company that developed psychometric tests. So what they did is they developed this assessment that I'm going to share with you now. And I'm going to share with you exactly what makes it different, because we wanted an objective measurement. I don't want your opinion. I want facts. Does that resonate with you guys?
Yes, definitely it does.
Okay, so that's how everything started. Now it's 16 years later, and we've got an international business where we help other parents, because I know how I felt so alone, no support, nothing. And I just wanted someone that really could understand. And that's where BioLink actually came from. So that's just a quick background. And my business partner is my sister. She's actually a registered nurse. She's a neonatal ICU sister. And we've been working together for more than 12 years already. So she's sick tonight, so that's why I'm the only one on the call tonight. Okay. So the one thing that I want to tell you guys is that you need to remember, if we talk about any form of assessment, you talked about assessments that you're going to do with your child now. I want you to think about what an assessment is, because when I do an assessment, parents are always, okay, I'm so nervous. What are you going to tell me? What's wrong with my child? I don't want you to come from that perspective. So any kind of assessment that you guys are going to do in the future, always see an assessment as a tool that can communicate information to me so that I can make informed decisions. Does that make sense?
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
All right. So remember, where do we see the problems spring up? It's normally either in two places. Either we see behavior, like you said already with your child, or as they grow older. Sometimes when they get to grade 6 and grade 7, the marks goes down, because now all of a sudden everyone thinks, oh, it must be concentration, and I'm gonna clear that out of the way. So the seminar that I'm doing now is all about behaviors, but getting to the primary source of this, what we see, because also remember, what we see is subjective. We can go deeper into that. Okay, so just a quick introduction. So let me just move on here. Okay, so let me give you some things that you can think about. Maybe it's something that you see with your child, or maybe some friends that you know also complain about things like this. Is, of course, paying attention. But Tutendo, if I tell you now, you two, you're sitting there in Zimbabwe, and I'm telling you, hey guys, I can see you. You need to pay attention. What are you going to do? What does it mean? Right? It's very abstract. And so often teachers will say, but you need to pay attention. But what do you want them to do? All right. So we're going to talk about attention, and there's other factors to consider when we see only attention. But if we look at attention, how long can they really pay attention to certain activities? Okay. And then sometimes other behaviors that you will see is that they can't sit still. They're always on the go. All right. And then remember, it's always the fact of, you think of, is he now naughty, or doesn't she want to listen? Things like that. Okay. This one is a big one, is how long does it take to complete things? Now, so often when I speak to schools, I will talk to the teachers, and the teachers will say they can't pay attention. But then I always tell them, listen, but if you in the classroom, stand in front of a classroom, and you talk and you give them certain instructions, like, okay, guys, take out your math book, open to page 6, and let's go on with number 3. You've given that child 3 multiple step directions, right? Now, if they get stuck at number 1, they don't know what to do with number 2. It's not always because of attention, but the teacher standing in front of the class don't have a way of knowing this. So sometimes when they give too many instructions, the one after the other, they get stuck with, okay, what's the second thing now? But it looks like attention, but it's actually something else. And I'm going to get to that. Okay, so why is stuff taking long, or why can't they remember things, right? The other one is, like I said, the multiple step directions. Okay, remembering instructions. So let me give you an example. Have you ever sent your child to the room? You will say, I don't know what your child's name is. Let's say, or you send Richard. Let's use Richard. Richard, please go to the bedroom. Go get my purse. Get $5 out of there, and let's give it to your brother or whatever. They go down the hall. You send them somewhere. They know they have to go something. But then they either don't come back, or they get distracted doing something else, or they come back and you say, what did you say? What did I have to do? Have you ever experienced that when you tell them to go do something, not Richard, your child?
Yeah, definitely we have
seen things like that. Okay.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I know it's already only in grade 2, but sometimes they start struggling with reading, spelling, and vocab and comprehension. Okay. What would you say, Rutendo, is the most, what's the major thing that worries you guys at this moment?
At this moment,
Hmm.
I guess I'm just worried, like in terms of her schoolwork, to say,
Mhm.
does she actually understand what they're teaching? Because sometimes, like, she'll come with homework and then she'll say, I don't
Know
like,
what
I
to
don't
do?
remember. And I'm like, but they must have taught you something. If they
Yeah.
gave you this homework, it means you learned this.
Yeah.
So things like that. And
Great.
then
Okay.
like I won't know what to do, because then sometimes I think maybe the way I want to maybe teach her in the way that they taught her at school for consistency's sake. But
Yes.
then I
Yes.
don't know, like I won't then know what they did. And
Yes.
I think also like taking too much time with the homework. She can literally spend the whole day
Yeah.
sitting, doing her homework, and then she gets up, she wants to go to the toilet, she wants to eat, she wants to jump on the sofa.
Okay.
She's doing all sorts of
All
things.
over. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and let me just rest assure you, this is normal, okay? Because we always have to also remember that, listen, they're only 7 years old, right? But we are looking at grade 4, and when the work becomes more and more, that we don't want them to fall behind, right?
Yes.
Other behaviors, maybe sometimes they just fidget. And I don't know what jobs you guys do, but have you ever sit in a meeting and as soon as you get bored, you start doing something, either play with a pen or start scribbling? Have you ever sit in a meeting like that, that you start
Yeah.
doing something? Okay, children do
Yeah.
the same. We can, because of other people in the room, we can do it so that they don't see it. But what does a child do? They start kicking the chair or it looks like disruptive behavior, but it's not. Okay. And then this one, have you ever seen this one? Today they can do it, and then tomorrow it's like, what's this? Never done this before. Even in an hour's time, now they can do it, but a little bit later on, when you do it again, just to revise it, maybe it's like they've never seen it before. Have you ever seen that with her?
Yes, we have. We have.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to give you all the answers. All right. And then also, as they grow older, they struggle poor listening skills and poor comprehension. And in schools today, and we work internationally, I can tell you that this is not a South African issue. This is a global issue. Everyone is struggling because of that, or struggling with these things. And it's, of course, because of technology, but it's not the only thing that we have to look at. Okay, so there is an answer. And this is the thing, is I wanted for myself at that stage, when they said you're struggling with this and this, I wanted to say, okay, but why? Where did it start? Because the one thing leads to the other, it's like us. If let's say we want to lose weight, what's the primary cause? Is it because I eat too much? Is it because of my hormones? Things like that. We want to get to the primary issue, the primary cause of things, because the one thing piles onto the other, and then in the end we're sitting with a result, but we can't explain the results. We have to go back to the beginning. So I want to show you this assessment. And this is an awesome assessment, Rutendo, because you can show this to a teacher. And even if they didn't, and even if you want this recording, I'm going to send this recording out to everyone in any case tomorrow, is that you want to, if you communicate with the school and with the teachers, and just for you guys as parents, you want to understand what your child's skill set is. This is the key now. Right?
Yes.
Because you could not drive a car when you were 10 years old. I don't know how old you now are, but now you can drive a car. The skills and learning, reading, everything I want to talk about is skills. Sitting still is a skill. Listening is a skill. And skills can be taught. And the level of skill in different people will always differ because of how we grow up. our upbringing, what you do with your child, things like that. Okay, so the focus assessment, they talk about a CPT assessment, is a continuous performance test. And I'm going to quickly just give you a little bit of background so that you are feel confident about doing an assessment like this. It's got strong psychometric properties, and we've administered it. So remember, we developed it here in South Africa, but it's being used all around the world now. So in 2017, Marlies and I went to Washington, DC, where at the Global American Psychology Association conference, we launched this. So we are very proud to say that we co-founded this tool, and it's now being used all across the globe, as far as South America and Panama. Okay, and we've got large numbers because we needed those numbers to get the right levels to give parents good feedback with regards to the results. Okay, and it is standardized and validated. Okay, and I think the main thing for me as a parent is that it's objective. Don't tell me, don't give me your opinion. I honor that, but I want something extra. So here in Bloemfontein, I don't know if you guys know where Bloemfontein is, but here we work with a lot of doctors that actually uses this assessment together with if they want to prescribe medication, to make certain that medication dosages are correct. But this assessment is going to measure 4 different things, and these things are going to explain the behavior. So the first one, of course, is attention span, right? And I'm going to give you some examples. My teacher side always wants to be very practical, so I'll get to that. But the second thing that we measure is brain processing speed. So remember when I said you give them, maybe you give her 3 multiple step directions. If she needs a little bit more time to process what you said, if it will look like attention, but it's actually brain processing speed. And it's important, and I want to say this now because everyone asks me this always. They will say, now, so do you say my child is slow? No, I don't say any child is slow. This is just the brain's ability to take all the input coming from the outside in and put them in the right order and process exactly what to do. All right. Like I said, I gave you my age. So when I was in grade 9, standard 7, and we were still in standards, I loved mathematics, but my teacher told me, and I promise you this is the truth. She said, Karen, you are dumb with maths. You can't, at that stage, you could still, take it out of the syllabus. And years later, when I started working with these things, I discovered that I'm a slow processor, meaning that I need just that extra second for me to complete it. And with maths, everything was going very fast, and that made me, because I couldn't complete tasks at the given time, I got very anxious. Right. So if you're struggling with slow brain processing speed and you tell those kids to go faster, you need to finish, they get so anxious. And you, as parents, as adults working somewhere, if you are pressured for time, how do you feel? Stressed.
Yeah.
And if you are stressed, think about it. If I'm stressed, I can't think logically. I can't even breathe, and I can't take action. So I don't know what to do. So that's why it's so important that teaching should understand the children's skill set so that they can accommodate those students in the class, and not saying that they need to do something big. If here in Bloemfontein, it's great because we've been here many years, so the teachers knows us, so they will know if there's a slow processor that's at our center in the class, they will know we help them with certain accommodations that they can do during class, and no one even knows about it. Smaller things that you can change that won't put pressure on the child and make them feel inferior with regards to the friends, but we accommodate, we can help them. Okay, so, but that's the thing, brain processing speed, impulse control, Okay, I don't have to explain that one. And then we measure. This assessment has got auditory and visual distractions built into it, because classrooms and places where we work is not quiet and there's people working around. And sometimes those distractions are the things that's taking these children off task and then making them struggle to complete the task. But that's the primary problem. So this is the 4 things that we measure. So I wanted to quickly give you examples, right? So the first construct, the first building block that we measure is that this consistency is attention span, right? So it works like this. We want it to start the task, complete the task in any given time, and my quality of work stays exactly the same. So if they are inconsistent, that's why this, you're working with her now and she gets it right. And then 15 or 20 minutes later, she can't do it. And then you're like, what happened now? Why can't you do it? It's because the quality of work is not consistent, because attention is doing this. So if you look at behaviors, things that you can look at that can pinpoint maybe looking at your child is they struggle to start. They just, and remember, it's not that I always tell parents, listen, I still need to meet the child that wants to be difficult, especially in grade 1, 2, and 3. They want to please the teachers. They want to get recognition. So this is the fact of, it's not that they don't want to do it. It's that they can't do it. There's a big difference. But the more that they feel that they can't do it, then we go into a downward emotional roller coaster, and we don't want to go there. But they can't start. Or they will start, but then every 5 minutes they will ask you, what do I do again? What must I do again? They can't work without any supervision. And you said it. If they struggle with consistency, there's those children that say, Mom, I just need to quickly go get something from my bag, or I need to go drink some water. It's because the tension is doing this. Okay. And the quality is, so let me give you another example. Sometimes they will get 10 maths calculations to do, and then all of them are the same. So number 1 to 6 is perfect, but 7, 8, and 9 is wrong. But it's, why? And 10 is right again. It's again because attention does this. So the quality of work is not stable. So this is the first thing that we will measure. And I'm going to show you the exciting part. So performance, like I said, so stimuli is getting into the brain. We need to now process and put those things in order to know what to do. So if you look at a child, that's a slow processor. And these are the children, unfortunately, in a class, I don't know how big your classes are in Zimbabwe, but the bigger the classes, the dreamers, the ones that are quiet, they fall through the cracks because they're actually struggling, but the teacher maybe has other children that's running around and bouncing up and down. So these children fall through the cracks. So, and remember, these kids are all very bright. But as they grow older, they don't get away with their brightness anymore, because now the tempo and the workload just becomes more. So we need to look at that. So, but looking at them, they are the dreamers. I always make a joke and say, the lights are on, but no one's there. Okay. All in they are totally in their own dream world. Okay. They can't remember what to do. Okay. They struggle to keep up. So they are always late. And that's what you said with your child. Homework that's supposed to take 15 minutes takes 2 hours. And remember, it's not good for them because they feel like they are failing. We want children to be able to do the task, finish it, be correct, and move on, because they still need to have time to play and do other fun stuff. Okay. But if we look at subjects and things that they struggle with, like I said, poor listening skills. But if brain processing speed is slow, they struggle with 2 things mainly: maths, certain aspects of maths, and reading. Okay. So you will get, so if they struggle with those things, we need to go to the primary problem that most often is brain processing speed. You wanted to say something?
I think I wanted to say that she struggles more with the comprehension, I've noticed. Yeah, I think usually her marks on comprehension are low. Maths actually surprised me. She's quite good, except for
Okay.
mental maths.
Okay. But
Maths is
because,
usually one of her highest marks,
so
right?
what mental
Mm.
math, remember, she needs to be
She needs to
fast.
remember. Yeah, she needs to be
Needs to be
fast.
fast. Yes. Okay. But remember, there's hope. So don't worry. Okay. Impulsivity, there's those kids that they first do and then they think. Okay. So these are normally the children also that will get in trouble for being rude. Or as they grow older, this is the children that will make the most stupidest mistake and then realize I was in a hurry. Okay. But a lot of kids that's got impulse control issues, normally people will look at them and think that they are rude and don't have good manners and things like that. But in school, it's normally the kids that they make stupid and silly mistakes that's going to cost them. Okay, so impulsivity. And then the last one is the distraction. So I'll explain it now. So auditory and visual distractions can take a child off task, because if they're sitting and listening to the teacher and they are very sensitive to sound, and someone is sitting behind her and sharpening a pencil, all she hears is that. So now she can't hear the teacher and she's hearing this because she's too sensitive, and that will take her off task and it will look like poor concentration. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so let's look at this. So I wanted to show you. So this is, and I'm going to show you how we do this, but this is how it will look if we do an assessment. So I'll get to the ins and outs, but this is the report, right? So you will see now, same age, same sex children will be compared to each other so that we have a norm group, right? So here, consistency and performance, these two, these are the positive building blocks. So we want these scores to be as high as possible, right? And then this one, impulsivity, we want the score to be low. So we want to go to the left-hand side. And then distractions, we don't want to be too low where this child is, because this shows that this child is totally going into a bubble and not hearing and seeing anything. So if she's bored, she doesn't even know what's happening around her. So we don't want the distractions to be too high, too low, or too high. All right. Now, what I normally do with this, so I don't know if you really can see, but this assessment is 20 minutes long, right? There's no person involved. They don't have to read or write or do anything, right? It's very boring. Now, I have to say this. It needs to be boring, because I don't know if you've ever saw, but if your child do something that they like, they can do it forever. And we like that as well as adults, right? But if we do a monotonous task and it's something that we dread and we don't want to do it, it's much more difficult. So the assessment is very boring, but very simple. Okay, so it's structured that way. So the assessment, so the screen will be black, and there's a yellow star that's going to flicker on the screen very slowly. And the child will sit in front of the computer, and all your child needs to do is, as soon as she sees the star and it's colored in, she needs to press the space bar as fast as possible. If it's only outlined, she needs to leave it. Very simple. And I always say, you tell your child it's a game, but it's a game for like 3 seconds. And then it's like, it's very boring, but we want that, right? So remember, that's the reason why it's developed this way. So for 20 minutes, it's going to alternate and give her different sequences of when she needs to respond and when she needs to leave it, right? Then she's going to sit with headsets on with different noises in her ears. So, sometimes we go into a restaurant and people will talk, but we don't know what they're saying. It's that mumbling. So every now and again during this assessment, there will be noise in her ears coming and going. Sometimes it's like a telephone ringing, someone writing. So it's just random noises that will come at certain certain timestamps in the assessment. And then the visual distractions, there will be little mannequins, little figures running around the circle and off the screen. Because sometimes they forget all about the star, because where's this little mannequin going? And there's a reason for that. And then sometimes it's both, right? So we look at the distractions, because that's how classrooms look using this example, if you look at performance, right, brain processing speed, you can see that the percentage is 40%, right? So what I do is I take the 20 minutes and I multiply that by 40%. So that's about 8 minutes that this child's was on time. So her brain processing speed was on time. So now it's much more realistic for you guys to know that, and for the teacher to know that, listen, during a class period that's 30 minutes, 8 minutes of the time she will be there. The other times this child is going to miss things. Not because she don't want it, it's because she can't at this stage, because this is skills that can be taught, right? But we want this to be realistic. So every score gives us the reason why we see certain behavior. Okay, so from this results, it's a detailed, objective look. It's compared to peers, and it's like when I told you now, when she does certain things, it's like, oh my goodness, that's why she's doing it. Not because she's rebellious or she wants to be naughty. It's because, you know what, at this stage she can't do it, but she will be able to do it later on, right? And because we want to look, and I hate the word weakness, I rather talk about a challenge. So, but that's why you attended this. We want to look at your child's strengths and challenges, because it's information. Because if we've got this information, we can now adjust what we're doing at home when you do homework. So if her attention is very, let's say it's 5 minutes, for instance, when you guys do homework, we can now alternate the program so that she gets it right and she gets success. Not so easy when we talk about in the classroom, okay, because there everything is going fast. But now the teacher has got some sort of comprehension about the behavior, and they will respond differently. And that's actually what we want. Okay, and then from there we can make good decisions. Okay, what are we going to do? Where should I go now? Because that was my big thing is, okay, you said all of these things now, but what do I do now? Where do I go now? Okay, you guys should, do you have any questions up to now?
I think we're good. You may continue. I think the more you give us this information, we'll be able to gather based on our child's behavior.
Okay. So
yeah.
I've noticed, just one question. I've noticed also that at home, I feel like at home she can't keep as much attention as opposed to when she's at school or in a different environment. Because I've noticed in a different environment, she can be maybe more toned down.
Yes.
Especially if it's like she's meeting new people and, you know, but then at home it's like wild.
But remember, when they struggle at school, and like that's what I'm saying, especially girls, they want to impress, they want to do things right. So if they have got challenges, it takes so much mental effort of them to keep it together, right? And then if she gets into the car and she's like, I can let go now, now you get it. They throw tantrums, you know, and as soon as they get home, remember, home is their safe place. That's where they can relax, and, you know, and that's why sometimes the behaviors differs from school to home, right? But that's why it's so important. And I don't know if you've ever attended any of our webinars, is that I really, because of my history and what I've been through, I have got this passion, because I don't teach anymore. I want to help parents. I want to, with everything that I've learned, I've gained so much. I'm such a better parent, because my oldest son, let me just give you that, he's now 23, and my other son just turned 21, but I've got a lot, Lamiki, I've got a 10-year-old. So, and I'm ADHD, my husband, with our whole family is ADHD, like in severely, right? And my youngest son is also, but with all the knowledge that I gained with him, with my older son, I could parent a little bit different because I had all this knowledge. And that's why we at BioLink, you will see us do a lot of webinars. I did now one on goal setting. We do things like morning routines. I'll send you our YouTube channels link, where we've done so many webinars that can help you, because we need to also at home put a structure in place where these skills and these things they struggle with, we can help them with. Because what we do at BioLink, so remember, I said now, these are the weaknesses, these are the challenges. But you're going to ask me now, but what do we do now? So this session is all about telling you that there's a way in which we can pinpoint the behaviors, and we can give it a number. So you guys are going to phone Belinda and do an assessment with her, and she'll do an hour long. And she's wonderful. She's also an ex-teacher, and she's got worlds of knowledge with regards to this as well. She will be able to really assist and help you with your child, because I want to give you, if I've got this information here, we can pinpoint all the behaviors to the T, right? But then you're going, so let's say a child is a slow processor. What do we do? And that's where our program comes in. Now, our program that we use comes from America. It's neurocognitive training, because these skills that we talked about here is cognitive skills. It's brain skills. These are the skills that your child and your brain needs to be able to read, learn, listen. It's like gears. These skills are intertwined with each other, and if the one is weak, the other one is going to struggle. So we focus on the foundational skills that helps develop a brain. And remember, the brain is neuroplastic. The brain can learn. That's why I said to you, she can't do it now, but she will be able to do it later on, because with our program, we enhance these skills. And again, the program, and that's why we bought it many years ago with my son, is that it's scientifically based. There's research being done. And I can tell you, they told me when he was in grade 3, they told me that I had to send him to a school for the mentally challenged children. And I just said, you know what? No, not being oblivious about his challenges, but I knew, you know what, any skill can be taught. And when I started using the program, that he was actually on Ritalin, and within 6 months, he was at a specialist. Within 6 months, the doctor started weaning him or making the dosage lower. And I didn't say anything. And a year later, he was totally off his meds. And then I told the doctor, and he's still here in Bloemfontein, what I did. And the doctors here are they only want to put the children on medication because they wanted a quick fix. And when I confronted him and say, but you took him off medication, so he can't be the one day ADHD and the next day not. He still has ADHD, but his brain can function in a normal way so that he can get stuff done. So, you sometimes do get that, but we've been able to conform some of the doctors here, because we want to work with them. Because I'm very on the fence. If you talk about medication, I'm on the fence always, because through the years of helping thousands and thousands of parents and children, there's a place for it. But here in South Africa and Bloemfontein, as soon as because the classes are very big here, they want to put the children on the medication so that they just sit still so that they can get through the work. And that's not right. We don't want that. Okay. Yeah, so that would
I'm
be
a little bit skeptical about the medication route.
Yeah. But like I said, Pretender, please, you need to know that sometimes it is helpful. Right. But you don't always have to, like I said, many years, we are very cautious about managing your expectations, because that's what you want. I want to know what to expect now. So we're very cautious about that, because like I said, my son could totally, until today, he's not on any form of medication, and he's autistic. He's not on antidepressants, nothing. And because he can function. But sometimes the doctors could lower dosages, and sometimes the dosages could stay the same, even though the children, maybe got double in size. So it depends, but I just think with schooling and education and everything, and like I said, it's global. They want to put the children too fast on medication. And my personal, now I'm talking as a mom, I feel that if we can improve the skills, that's a long-term change, because if they don't drink the medication tomorrow, the skills are not there again. So the combination is also very good. Okay, so the next steps for you guys should be then to contact Belinda. I will send you, because I've got you on WhatsApp, then I'll send you Belinda's detail. And what's going to be nice is that you guys can sit in front of her, and especially for the dads, the program, we demonstrate the program, and we normally let the dad do the program so that they can see how difficult it is, and that it's because normally the dads are very skeptical. So we demonstrate it, we make certain that you can make an informed decision. Okay. So that is my whole thing. There's my contact number, but I think you have it now, Rutendo, because we're on
Yes,
WhatsApp.
I do.
If you have any questions, please, you can at any time. I've got friends all across the world, and sometimes you just need something to ask. Please, I've been doing this for many years, and my passion is to support and help parents, because the more educated you two are, the more knowledge you have. And that's why I do so many webinars. Sometimes teachers will tell you something. I always say, and I think it must be my husband that rubbed off on me, because I don't always believe everything. I want proof. So, but the more knowledge you two have about what your child needs, how a brain works, how she learns, if someone would confront you with certain things, you will have the facts to give them right answers. And that's what I want to do. I want to empower parents so that they can advocate for their children. And also in our sessions, we teach the children to be able to advocate for themselves. And that's also important. Okay.
Maybe just a quick question.
Yes.
Do you have anything maybe to also assist me as a parent? Because I think I also struggle a little with ADHD. Only discovered it in the long run. I think it's through my wife. She discovered certain behavior traits, and I kind of feel like, my wife then says I tend to behave the same with my daughter. So
yes.
when maybe I'm helping her, because I also help her, with doing her homework, and I then lose my patience, and she then says, you also do the same. If I'm giving you a task, you have a tendency of then diverting, or maybe I ask you a question, you go the other way, and then you eventually give a response. So I don't know, is there a way maybe of helping maybe both of us, or myself as a parent, to be able to understand
Richard,
better?
You should do this yourself. You should do this yourself and do the assessment, and Belinda will be able to assist you, to give you on your level.
Okay.
And we've got many fathers and daughters, or fathers and sons, that comes together, and even though your little girl is still small, I believe that and I've seen it with my 10-year-old. So people don't talk to them as if they will understand. We should talk to them and explain to them, not in baby language. Talk to them, make them understand, give them, because I want to give them the language to be able. That's why I say we teach them to advocate. So the thing that I'm struggling with, explain to me why, so that I can understand, because then everything changes. So if a family understand this as a whole, remember, if I understand you, and let's say, for instance, you are a slow processor, right? Let's say we work in an office together. And I've had many corporates that I've helped like this. If we understand each other's skill set, and I can also throw in personality type, if I do something, if you give me a task and maybe there was too many sequences, and you know I'm a slow processor, you're going to rethink about how you talk to me, what you tell me to do. And because it's all about respect, and like I say, if you then start doing something about it, because it's okay to identify it, but now it's not an excuse, right?
Yeah.
We have to improve that. And that's the thing for me with regards to this is understanding each other is, and then having mutual respect. Man, it works. It really works. It's a positive environment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So definitely go see her. You are going to be amazed with results. And like I said, Belinda's been doing this for many years. I don't know if you watch cricket, but her husband is in the Zimbabwean cricket team.
Oh,
Their surname is Irvine. I can't remember now his name, but Irvine. So yeah, so they're South Africans, but they've been staying for many years in Zimbabwe. Very nice people. You are really going to enjoy them.
awesome.
Yeah, no. I saw her highly recommended, I think.
Yes.
So definitely going to call, I think, tomorrow and fix an appointment.
Yes, do that. I'm going to send you, as we finish with this call, I'm going to send the information to you. But tell me, guys, did you learn something tonight?
Yeah, it's been an eye-opener.
Really?
Definitely, yeah, because, you know, I think you just kind of like not sure. And I think like the questions that I had were answered. Like, say, for example, I wasn't sure whether her behavior is normal for age, but sometimes you think maybe she's just a kid and she's just being a kid, you know?
Yeah.
So I think the fact that the assessment takes into account comparing her to her age mates can give me like a really objective answer to that question to say, is this really a problem, or maybe she just, needs more time? So I think definitely that will help. And I think even, the issue on, what you shared your story on your son about medication. I think also that has helped me, and I think we're going to talk about it some more, because I was also sitting on the fence to say she's a little bit too young to take medication, I think, but I mean, I don't know. So are the alternatives, what can we do? So I think, I think definitely this will help us.
Yeah, I'm so glad.
I love it already.
No, and the thing
just,
is,
you explain everything, so the explanation helps, because I remember with her dad, when he went to see his doctor, he was more just prescribing medication, but not really explaining what was happening.
Yes, you want to understand, because if you understand, you feel better about whatever you decide. But you need the knowledge, like I said. So, and subscribe to our email list, but also to Belinda's, and they will advertise, because I think you saw the advertisement from maybe an Instagram or a Facebook, but start following us, because we do a lot of these. We are launching a new, we've got a whole listening program. We're launching a new listening program at the end of April. So the whole time we're busy with new things launching, but also teaching parents, giving them, the tools that they need to be able to help their children better. Okay.
Awesome. All right. Thank you.
It was so nice to speak to you guys. You were my only clients. So it was
wow. It was a blessing in disguise.
It's nice, because I like talking, and the more personal, the better, because I want to help you and I want you to understand, because I knew how I felt when I had no one. It's terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Okay, fantastic, you guys. But you have a wonderful evening further. And then I'm going to hop on my phone and send you all the details. All right. And if there's anything, Rutendo, you've got my number now. You WhatsApp me and I'll be able to, if I can help you, by all means. Right.
All right. Thank you so much, Karen.
Okay, you too. Have a great day further.
All right, then. Good night.
Okay, see you. Bye.
See you. Bye.